Hey everyone, this video today I'm going to compare the Wreck-It Ralph movies from Disney Animation to the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs movies from Sony Pictures Animation. In each case, we're talking about only two movies. When it comes to Ralph franchise, Ralph Breaks the Internet actually is the highest score by only 1% with an 88%. Then we look at Cloudy franchise. The first Cloudy for Chance of Meatballs movie has the highest score of 85%, so Ralph wins this round. Then we look at the lowest score for each franchise with the Ralph franchise. Wreck-It Ralph has the lowest score, and it's still an 87%, which is still a great score. Then when you look at Cloudy for Chance of Meatballs, the sequel has the lowest score of 71%, which is still a good score. It's not bad at all. It's fresh by 11%. Ralph wins this round. Then we look at the average score for each franchise. Cloudy for Chance of Meatballs has an average of 78. Then we look at the Ralph franchise. It has an average of 87, so Ralph wins this round. Then we look at the gap between the lowest and highest score. With Ralph, you only have a gap of 1, whereas if Cloudy for Chance of Meatballs, you have a gap of 14, so Ralph wins again, meaning Ralph's going to win this debate no matter what my personal opinion might be. It's already won 4 of the rounds, but let's look at my personal opinion here. I like both Cloudy for Chance of Meatballs films. I think this idea that a scientist creates this machine that can turn water into air, but then in the first film we see how that ends up being abused, and thus things start to go wrong when it goes haywire, when there's too much food falling out of the sky to the point where it puts people in danger. We see that the mayor gets just morbidly obese to the point that it's pretty gross. Then the second movie, we learn that, this food that was created because of the machine has actually become sentient. It's become alive, actually, where you have all these food animals, or as the movie calls them, foodimals, that have families. They act like animals. Like, for example, the big cheeseburger acts like a dog. The tacos really act like crocodiles. I think that's pretty creative, to be honest. I like the characters you get in these movies. Flint Lockwood, his dad, and that girl that Flint ends up falling in love with. I like the visuals. I think the stories here are pretty engaging. Like the first movie's about this guy Flint Lockwood, who the town doesn't think of very highly. They just see him as this failed inventor. But then, because he makes this machine, suddenly everyone likes him. He's the #1 person in town until things really go wrong. And then the second movie is about Flint trying to figure out what he's going to do next. He ends up meeting his hero, only to find out his hero's not as good as he thought he was. And because of how much Flint adores this guy, it allows for the villain in the movie to take advantage of Flint. But then Flint realizes that, and he also learns that we need to actually protect these foodimals. When it comes to Ralph, I like Wreck-It Ralph a lot. I think it's a great movie that has good visuals, an engaging story, characters I like spending time with. I think the relationship between Ralph and Vanellope is done really well. I think the idea here that you have all these video game characters who actually live their own lives when their games are not being played by children. These characters actually are interacting with each other. They lead secret lives that the humans don't know about. They're able to travel in between games. That's very interesting. I like that you have the character who is this tough military leader. She meets this guy Felix, who is just a very nice, sweet guy who isn't a military person at all. the two of them both influence each other in a positive way, where he's able to teach her to be just a little bit softer, not quite as hard. She's able to teach him to be a bit more tough. And then when it comes to Ralph Breaks the Internet, I like or seeing how the relationship between Ralph and Vanellope develops, and I see that Ralph needs to learn to not be possessive. We see how Ralph's insecurities lead to things going wrong until he realizes this. I like the idea of going out there exploring the internet because our characters need to find this thing out there in order to save the game. So Ralph and Vanellope go out to the internet to find this item that they need. But I do think one of the big problems here is that Ralph Breaks the Internet very much relies on internet jokes, internet memes, and oh man, some of these were dated even before the movie actually came out. And certainly when you watch the movie now, the internet references, the jokes, the memes can come off as very dated. And so I think that has caused the movie to not age as well because it was too reliant on pop cultural references, internet references don't really age very well. I would say that I like Claudio Faccian's Meatballs more, but Ralph is going to win this debate. That'll be it for now. Bye, everyone.